This is a recording after my DRS 2012 three workshops in Thailand. The first workshop was excellent. The second workshop was lousy. And the third workshop was half excellent, half lousy. Not due to the content, but due to the fact that I was exhausted after the 3 hour first workshop and did another 3 hour workshop on the same day. That was a bad idea. But idea-wise, it was exciting because IA had done, I had applied a paper to that conference, and it had been rejected as too outre, which I agree, it really was. It was in my super thought mode, and I was way beyond where most of the field is, and people couldn't relate to it. And the organizers knew I was a good guy, so they almost begged me to submit workshop proposal, but I didn't know what a conference workshop was. I'd never done one before, never gone to one before. And so I submitted three, assuming that it's like papers. They look at a lot of topics and they choose the best ones. And they came back and accepted all three. And this was a problem because suddenly an easy, pleasant conference of socializing with academics became a lot of hard work. I did the first 3 hour workshop on a replacement for brainstorming, social design automata. And I presented it, framed it in a number of directions, such as filling in the missing micro level in organizations, such that meetings and discussions are very badly done and sloppy and unstructured. And then on top of them, we have huge control and departmental structures. So there's sort of a missing micro layer. And then I presented them from automata theory and computer science that the computational arrangement of the world's simplest machines in cellular automata theory, part of computer science, has an analog in arranging people similarly to make the ideas of people interact directly rather than have people just sort of watch each other ideas without making the ideas interact. And another, the second workshop was on a bigger version of that sort of mass design events, which I've been doing off and on all my career, in particular invent events, where you get 200 people for 3 days or 2 days, a long weekend, often to come up with 100 patents or 2,000 product designs or 8 winning product designs or um, new markets to enter with new products for those markets, or the design of venture businesses in 3 days. And uh, invent events are also in a partner with research events, where you take a topic totally new to a group of people and in 3 days create a 1,000-page book that's got interviews with all of the top people in the world in that field. So you go from zero knowledge to the world's best book on something in 3 days. Um, or uh, uh, customer contact events. There's a number of those kinds of these mass workshop events. And the mass workshops have scripts, for each workshop group. And it's designed so that sets of workshop groups' partial products at the end of the event combine to make an overall powerful product. Or, if you have several sets, then you have several powerful products at the end. And so that's sort of a larger scale version of social automata, where the unit of design is scripted work teams interacting through their partial products during the event and at the end of the event by combining the partial products to make them powerful single products. And then the last one was on culture. And it was meant to be interactive, but it was only an hour and a half long. And so all I got through, because of my lazy planning, was a new perspective on culture through a 10-component model of culture. And this is a model that has definitions and uses of culture and operations enabled by tools on culture and traits of culture, which are just special versions of dimensions of culture. And then social processes and types of culture. And then finally, powers of culture and high performance culture. And this is a remarkable set of 10 components. I'll probably do a couple of videos on it here if I haven't already. Now, I'm interested in the relation between all three of these. So you have social design automata replacing brainstorms, and you have mass workshop events replacing giant, slow processes by small staffs or teams. And then you have cultures and culture building. using a lot of mass workshop events to build a culture, and using a lot of social cellular automata as the procedures of some of what the workshop teams do in any given day or week. And the social cellular automata do produce an intensity. And the goal of the cultures are created and changed by a kind of heat between people, personalities, and minds, where you get interactions so intense that you strip off the ego electrons of everybody and get raw ideas fusing instead of ideas owned by status conscious egos. So you create a social plasma from which you get idea fusion, to use the nuclear metaphor. And cellular automata are one way to move a group in that level of intensity, and mass workshop events are an even better way to move larger groups of people in that direction. And if you populate a group with a variety of and a number of mass workshop events, you can change its entire culture at regular intervals in predicted design directions that you want. So the three relate that way, and that I didn't realize it when I did all three that they were going to relate. I did them in my mind independently because they related to the theme of this conference, but now that I've taught them, they do relate very strongly. And I'll outline tonight a book on it with a detailed outline of what you would do, and I'll go over the slides I prepared for all of them to get the outline for the book. It should be a good book, should be easy for me to write because I've already got all the individual slides, and I just need overall organization and relating the three topics to each other.